We'd like to provide you tonight with our essentially our second annual update. Mr. Brian Gorham, our Administrative Coordinator for Energy Management, will provide the presentation.
Right. Good evening, Chairman Johns, members of the school board, Dr. Waltz. We have a little bit of a media piece that will help inform you about what we've been up to in the last year and what we have coming up for the new school year. Energy management in Prince William County Schools is a combination of stewardship and conservation. Join me, if you will, as we see how Prince William County Schools is conserving for a world-class education.
One of the greatest sources of utility expense involves the large amount of after-school activities and community functions that use Prince William County Schools facilities when the regular school day has ended.
Different community groups such as churches, Boy Scouts, dance competitions, pretty much anybody in the community that wants to come and use the buildings any day or any hour after the normal building hours can come in and do so. If that's not scheduled and communicated properly, then there's a potential for a lot of unnecessary energy usage.
The Energy Management Team has joined with the American Forest Foundation to introduce PLT Green Schools. This exciting incentive-based program is currently being piloted within the school division. The goal of the program is to return utility savings directly back to the classroom while educating and developing conservation awareness among the student body.
STEM is an acronym for Science, Technology, Engineering, and Mathematics. And the Energy Management Team uses the STEM tools to understand, quantify, and evaluate energy usage in Prince William County schools and their facilities.
We want to be considered a STEM school, so science, technology, engineering, and math are very important to us, and we try to get the students to understand when we can do things like turning off the lights and turning off the computers and monitoring the thermostats, and that's going to give back to the things that we can use for actually teaching science, technology, engineering, and math, then that's the great benefit that we can get from it.
Most of my efforts here at Benton have been through students. I organized the Green Cougars Club, a new environmental club here at Benton.
One of the goals of our club is to promote energy conservation within our school, and we've seen a great change in Prince William County and a great return on the changes that we've made as far as reducing our energy use. And by using the PLT Green Schools initiative, we can actually collect data and use some of those activities that are provided through that program to communicate to our staff and communicate to our students the things that we're doing and the changes that we're seeing. Instead of them just being told to make these changes, they're actually able to see the data behind it that supports the reason why.
The three of us work with 93 schools, and we also oversee accounts for buildings like the Kelly Center, the Independent Hill Complex, and the transportation areas. So that's about 100 buildings, but we actually work with 695 utility accounts, and that covers electric, gas, fuel oil, water, sewer, diesel, propane, and kerosene.
Prince William County Schools are consistently recognized for their commitment to energy conservation and sustainability. 2009 through 2014 recognized as a Silver Certified Green School Division by the Virginia Municipal League in conjunction with the Virginia School Board Association. 2014, 15 schools to date have received Energy Star status for the year.
Since the start of the program in July 2012, we've helped reduce carbon dioxide emissions by 22,425 metric tons. We've helped keep about 4,600 cars off of the road for 1 year, and we've helped grow over 572,000 tree seedlings over the past 10 years.
Energy savings in Prince William County Schools equal $6.6 million since July 2012. For more information on the Prince William County Schools Energy Management Program, please visit us on the web or contact your energy management team.
recall, objectives of the program help prioritize common sense facility operation with fiscal stewardship while creating an energy conservation culture. As the energy manager, I have stated before that I feel our role is to foster collaboration. This is true more than ever now entering our third program year. The support of site-based management, energy coordinators are developing meaningful relationships with facility users. The energy management program in Prince William County Schools is comprised of a multifaceted approach, as you heard about in our video, consisting of stewardship and conservation. By improving the culture of sustainability through education and infrastructure, we affect change at all levels of the school division with the resounding support of staff and students. You'll notice the three areas that we focused on this year are energy conservation, growing the education component, and infrastructure, which we were working on through our capital improvements program. A little bit more detailed evaluation of the performance going back from the beginning of the Cenergistic contract in 2012, beginning with the fast track period. Again, as a reminder, that period was a period of time where we did not share savings with Cenergistic. The subsequent periods up until today, we've shared 35% of savings with Cenergistic, our valuable partner. An exciting point for me is the trend in the graph. You will see the improving savings percentage that we are seeing since we have begun implementing the program. Our percentage of savings, shown as the red line in the graph, is moving higher over time, and our energy coordinators are working harder and smarter to conserve energy at each facility and continuously improve our practices. Last time I had the pleasure to be with you, it was requested by several school members, especially Ms. Covington, that we evaluate a program of returning savings back to the school. We looked at a lot of options and tried to match those options up with the objectives of the school division as a whole. We certainly wanted the program to create a culture, again, of sustainability and energy conservation as the kids grow through the school division. Hopefully we affect more change that way, and the students that become high schoolers, they're bringing with them practices that they learn through the Green Schools program. The Green Schools program is linked to energy conservation through, again, our partnership with the American Forest Foundation. Each site has the opportunity to participate. We will provide valuable training to them. A teacher is then selected to participate as the mentor for the program, and several objectives through the PLT Green Schools program are met, such as energy audits and energy conservation plan within the school. The school at that point would have the opportunity to generate $2,000 in a rebate annually back to their school for completing these objectives. We believe that these objectives continue to contribute again to that energy conservation culture, and that it's not just returning money for turning out the lights, if you will, some of the older practices that may have occurred. We don't want to support anything that negatively impacts our children. We want to create a environment that we foster. The teachers would also receive a portion of the money for their role, and this happens beyond the school day. It's a completely voluntary program through the site, but we will provide all of the resources that are necessary in order to meet these objectives. Again, you noticed in the video, we have a couple schools that have been participating in the program. We've had good success. We do notice that we need to kind of maybe arrange the curriculum based on the amount of time that they have, so we will limit the amount of objectives if your blessing is provided to move forward with the program. But we think the curriculum is very solid. It again is provided by the PLT Green Schools program, and they are partners with many of our national corporation sponsors. This year we had the opportunity to qualify 15 schools as Energy Star certified schools. We had a great ceremony over at Garfield High School. Thank you, Miss Jessie, for attending that day as well, and Miss Darlington was there as well. We had a great time, and we got to celebrate the commitment of these principals and site-based administrators to the energy conservation program. I also wanted to call your attention to the Go Green Virginia logo, and we did that in that video as well. This is really something that, to your credit as a school board, was critical in developing the policies that we now implement on your behalf, again with common sense, as Mr. Johns has always reassured us that we should do, move forward with common sense without displacing people or being disingenuous. PWCS enters this program each year, and we believe because it is in partnership with the Virginia School Board Association, it's a good representation of the interests of the school division, and so we will continue to support and participate in that program. And lastly, there's not much that the video didn't cover that we want to bring to your attention, but there are goals that we have for the year. We will continue to improve the savings of each site throughout the year with their participation. We will continue to register schools for the Energy Star certification, and again, we will hold a ceremony that addresses and gives some accolade to those site-based administrators that are participating in the schools. We want to give credit where credit's due. We really feel that we're just administering this program on your behalf. It is our job to go out there with grace and sensitivity and represent the school division as best and as we can, and we will promise to continue doing that in the next school year. We will continue also to develop energy-efficient infrastructure improvements, and I think we have some exciting things on the horizon with respect to that as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate your presentation, appreciate your hard work. The numbers look great. Board members, questions or comments? Mrs. Williams?
I don't have any questions. I would just like to say thank you for the work that you do and for this program. I went touring my schools in my district this year. I saw little signs everywhere, especially at the elementary school level, and the students are very proud of their participation in the program and very proud to say they go home and tell their parents, you know, oh, you have to turn off the lights or set the air condition, or, you know, we don't need to waste so much paper. And I see it working, and as someone who has a history in and interest in ecology and energy conservation, I think it's wonderful. So thank you.
Thank you.
Mrs. Covington?
I'm pleased that schools are able now to get some rebates, some money back in. Hearing Mrs. Gilson talk about being able to get some returns there for the school level, it's a real incentive. At the elementary level, teachers were as excited as the kids to get some money for supplies and whatever. So thank you for following up on that, and appreciate everything you're doing. Thank you. All of you do a super job. Thank you all.
Dr. Otegbe?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I also want to thank you for a very good presentation.
Thank you, sir.
I have two questions. The net savings, you threw out a figure of $6.6 million, right?
Gross.
That came to the school division?
That's the gross savings. That is the gross savings, so we do have a small amount of program overhead, and we have the savings that we share with Cenergistic out of that.
So how much was shared? How much?
Well, it's based every quarter, so we do have a quarterly payment, and it's along the lines of several $100,000, but it's only 35% of the overall savings, the gross number. Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. The second issue I want to bring up is on page 5 of your presentation.
Yes, sir.
Page 5, and when you talk about STEM-based learning models.
Sure.
If you don't mind, if you talk to Mr. Healy and see if we can add an A to the STEM. Instead of STEM, it will be a STEAM. That will make the language arts and the arts folks happy.
Sure.
Okay.
And I believe there is an artistic component and a creative component to energy conservation. Certainly, we modeled after STEM because of all the rigors that go along with the engineering focus on that. And we have worked with Jason Calhoun and Joy Green in the Office of Student Development and Family Sciences, really. And we do believe that we can bring any other partner into the fold as well and expand the program so that everybody is given the opportunity, if you will, to participate. Yes, sir.
Because that's what we are telling the public.
Yes, sir.
We are telling the public we don't just do STEM, we do
Full
STEAM.
steam ahead. Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Trenum, you were next, and then Mrs. Jesse.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just one quick question as far as looking on the graph on page 4. We've certainly seen increases in our percentage of savings over the initial phase in of this program. Do you expect to see the percentage increases start to rise, or do we think we've gotten to the point where they're going to start leveling off and we've kind of hit
I truly believe we've still got about 10 or 20% that we need to look at. And a lot of that has to do with the after-hours scheduling that we noted here. We need to firm up our policies and rules with respect to that. We definitely have a great system through our maintenance direct where people are able to schedule their facilities, but we see that as a void that we can now focus more attention on. But we want to bring that to people's attention, and this video hopefully will generate a little bit of a marketing campaign. We can use it on the Comcast channel locally. We can use it on our PWCS TV. We want to make people aware there is a system for requesting that space, and certainly we don't want anybody prohibited from doing that, but if we can gain a little control over that and some insight into how the spaces are being used, we believe that'll generate, again, some more savings. There's still some with the infrastructure piece that we've been able to develop through the capital improvements program, and we'll begin to see those savings contribute more so to the savings rate.
All right, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Trenum. Mrs. Jessie?
First, I also want to say thank you so much for providing this type of package for Prince William County. Betty and I both were part of, I used to call it the writing in the dark money. All the lights were out, I think, at Vaughn, because we really didn't want the money at the end. And so I'm really pleased to see that you do plan to compensate the participating schools. And I guess I have just a question of those schools that were recognized at Garfield, will they receive some type of compensation? And the second question is, will the profit level change as you market this concept to other schools in the division?
Sure. Great questions. The first and foremost is that the participants that were acknowledged at Garfield High School are specific to the Energy Star ranking, which ranks nationally our buildings compared to others and shows a 35% improvement in the energy performance in a 12-month period. That's actually unassociated with our PLT Green Schools movement. So we're trying to attract a lot of focus on energy management from a lot of different angles. So when we move to the PLT Green Schools model, I think what we will start out with is this kind of level of equality, where each school, based on its size, will get the opportunity to, again, with your blessing, generate the $2,000. Now, if there are activities that another school desires to take on in advance or in addition to what we are providing in the curriculum, I believe that an incentive could be discussed to be increased, because that participation would then contribute back to greater savings for that site. But at this time, I've only kind of modeled it after the fixed rate and tried to make things equalized as possible based on the building sizes.
Other question, I'm sure David has the answer to this. The profits that we did make, where does that money go?
The funding that's come in essentially from the savings in energy has gone to three places. One, we have a contract that we have with Cenergistic, and we pay the bills associated with that, and that runs for a 5-year period, and then we collect 100% in the years beyond that. The majority of the money, as we've gone through the budget process the last several years, we have repeatedly taken energy savings as a part of our budget balancing, and I'd have to get you the exact number, but it's been several $1 million each year, so that in that sense, we have turned it around and used that money in our budget process and effectively put it back to the use of the entire school division.
Thank you very much again. Thank you all for your presentation, for all your hard work, and for your great efforts. We appreciate everything that you're doing, and keep up the good work.